the kingdom fell. The throne was empty. The temple lay in ruins. Yet the voice of God did not fall silent, as Israel and Judah drifted from the covenant. The Lord sent his prophets not to predict the future only, but to call his people back to faithfulness. They spoke in days of kings and in days of exile. They warned of judgment, but they also whispered hope. Isaiah proclaimed that though the nation was wounded, it would not be destroyed. He spoke of a coming king from the line of David, one who would reign in righteousness, one whose kingdom would never end. He declared that a child would be born, a son given, and the government would rest upon his shoulders. He spoke of a servant who would suffer not for his own sins, but for the sins of many. Jeremiah wept as Jerusalem fell. He watched the city burn and the people led away in chains. Yet, even in despair, he spoke God's promise. A new covenant was coming, not written on stone, but on the heart. God would forgive their iniquity and remember their sins no more. Ezekiel saw visions by the rivers of exile. He saw dry bones rise and live again, a sign that God would restore his people. He spoke of a shepherd who would gather the scattered flock and give them one heart and one spirit. Daniel served in foreign courts, watching empires rise and fall. He saw visions of kingdoms that would pass away and of a Son of Man who would receive an everlasting kingdom, one that would never be destroyed. The prophets made it clear Israel's greatest problem was not political. It was spiritual. They did not merely need a better king. They needed a transformed heart. After the exile, the people returned and rebuilt the temple, but the glory was not the same. The throne of David remained empty. The promises lingered unanswered. For centuries, the prophets fell silent, and Israel waited. Then, in the fullness of time, the silence broke. A child was born in Bethlehem, the city of David. He came not with armies, but in humility. He spoke with authority greater than the prophets, and he lived in perfect obedience to the law. He proclaimed the kingdom of God. He healed the sick, forgave sins, and welcomed the outcast. He called himself the Good Shepherd. He spoke of a new covenant, not with the blood of animals, but with his own blood. He was the Son of David. He was the suffering servant. He was the Son of Man. What kings and judges could not accomplish, he fulfilled. What the temple symbolized, he embodied. What the prophets foretold, he completed. The Messiah had come. The story that began with deliverance from Egypt continued through kings and exile, and echoed through prophetic hope, reached its fulfillment not in a throne of gold, but in a cross and an empty tomb. The kingdom of God was no longer confined to a land or a building. It had come near, and it would never end.